My name is Aquibur Rahman. You can call me Akib. I'm the founder of a company called Mailmodo. It's an email marketing software for marketers to engage with their users with interactive emails. You can have forms, calendar, shopping cart, quizzes, polls, all within the email itself, so that users can take action without going to a landing page. That helps in increasing the conversion. But today I'm here to talk about demand generation using cold email. And Mailmodo is not a cold email tool. There are so many other tools like Hotplay, Clienty, SalesGear, etc., which you can use to do cold emailing. Today I'm going to share most of our learnings. Every company, when they start, it is difficult to generate demand and get customers for them. Most of the channels like SEO, social media, etc., take a lot of time to build. Ads take a lot of money to get customers, and probably every SaaS company starts with cold email. But all of us face problems like our emails not getting open, our emails not getting replies or demos. Uh, I believe all of you are doing some kind of cold emailing if you are running a SaaS business. What are the problems that you face generally with your cold emails? Like anyone would like to share? Low response rate, emails going to spam, intent of buying is low. Okay. What else? Quality of email addresses are also bad, right? Yeah. Uh, so even we also faced all of these problems, including the quality of emails, the intent of the user to buy our product, to get a reply from them, to get them on a demo call, and then getting them to buy our product. So this is a long process, and for even for us, we probably took like 1 year to learn. Like in the first year, were hardly getting any replies or any demos from our cold emails, but today we are getting about 70 demos from cold emails every month. So uh, today's presentation, hope it will come soon, will will be all around our learning. I'm not an expert in cold emailing, but I will be sharing everything that I have learned. So okay, here we are. Okay, sure, sure. Yeah. So yeah, these are the problems like all of you told. Not sure who to target, emails going to spam, no, not getting replies or opens or demos. Um, Next, next. So today we are going to talk about our process, how we target people, how we use an effective way not to be super personalized and increase our cost, and not to be massy and affect our domain reputation, etc. We are also going to talk about messaging, how you should write the message to get more replies and more demos, and also around tools and setup what we are using. So before even going there, or before even starting with cold email, you should think about how you behave as a user when you get a cold email. Do you enjoy reading the cold emails that you get? Do you want to respond over them? Or look at your own cold emails. If you get those emails, how would you behave? Would you read it and book a demo, or would you delete the email instantly? So whenever you send any kind of communication, not just about it is not about cold email. Think of yourself as a user. How would you behave? And think of how would you respond to that. So many of the people that whom I talk to, they think that cold email is a golden mistake, and that you will get a database and send emails to all of them and you will get results. That doesn't happen. It is a very systematic process in which you have to identify the intent, identify the need, and accordingly address those needs to relate to your solution and relate to the problem that you are solving. So the intent of your cold email should not be to sell. Nobody is going to read your email and get their credit card and pay you. They are not even going to consider your product immediately because it is a long process. I would, as a user, I would probably first needs to get interested. I need to get trust in you that, hey, this is a product that is going to solve my problem. And then I will compare your product with several other tools in your category. And probably then, if everything is met, the value, the price, everything is met, then I will buy. So the intent of your cold email or the objective of your cold email should not be that this person is going to buy the product. Your only objective should be to make them interested into a next step. The next step could be a free trial or a demo or even a consideration in their mind that, hey, this is something that I would like to consider. So in the interest of time, I will go a little bit fast. If anyone have questions, please feel free to ask. So it is very important to understand your ICP first of all and not mass email everybody. So, for example, Mailmodo is an email marketing product. Everybody needs an email marketing product. Should we send emails to everybody who is running a business? No. The answer is no. We need to identify who are the most likely people who are likely to buy our product right now. And for that, there is a traditional segmentation criteria like the company size, industry, revenue, team size, etc., or the team-wise like person's designation, level, etc. But what you really need to segment is on the basis of the problems or the intent that they have. So I have listed some of them, like somebody got funded, somebody got posted online that, hey, MailChimp is not a good tool, I am facing this and this problem, are there any alternatives? Or somebody hired a email marketing manager in their team, or somebody is looking to hire an email marketing manager in their team. Somebody is growing fast, or somebody has, somebody like an email marketing person has joined a new company. Or somebody who's visiting my website, or especially somebody visiting my pricing page, or a demo page, or a special feature page, but they have not signed up yet. So there are tools like factors.ai who can tell you that these are the people who are visiting your page, and you can target them. So there's some intent, some relation that these people are who are looking for a tool like yours, or who may be needing a tool like yours. Not everybody, not every marketer in the world is going to use Mailmodo today. We need to identify some of them, and we need to focus on them. I will also tell you why focusing on them is important in a later slide. So here are an example of what we have created for our own company. So on the right side, there are on the left side, there are triggers, like people change job, people have a funding, or people are using some kind of tools like HubSpot. And then we relate to that information and then accordingly personalize the message for that audience. So it is very important to understand your ICP also, because how to determine how many SDRs, how many cold emails, etc. you need to send, and what kind of emails you need to send. So there are people who would do super personalization. They will do emails, very personalized emails. They will do cold calling. They will reach out on LinkedIn, etc. There are people who would say that, okay, I have a very big audience, and I want to reach out to more and more people. I can't personalize every one of them because it will mean a lot of cost, because every personalization, even you are spending like 15 minutes on the personalization, you can hardly not even send 50 emails in a day. So it depends on what kind of audience, what kind of ICP you have. So if your number of potential customers is very high and if your ACV is low, super personalization probably will not help because you will not be able to target most, like many of them. You will be able to target very few of them. So that's why I factor two things, ACV and number of potential customer. If your ACV is very high and number of potential customer is low, it makes a lot of sense to do super personalization, calling, LinkedIn, even meeting them, going to events, reaching out to them there. But if your audience segment is very large and the ACV is low, you may not want to spend a lot of salary on individual SDR who are personalizing your every email, every message, and because it is a skill set that is not very prevalent and the costs are higher. So, can you go back? Yeah, next slide. Yeah. So, if your ACV is high and number of potential customers is small, segment is small. When I'm saying it is small, it is probably in a few thousand. When I'm saying it is large, it probably even then it is not more than 100,000. If this is not the case, if your ACV is also low and the number of customers is also low, probably your overall market is very small. So, for example, your ACV is just $1,000 and overall market is just 1,000 companies. That means overall market is itself $1 million. So probably even if you capture 10%, you are going to just get $100,000. But if your ACV is very high and you are saying that your number of potential customers is also very high, then probably you're not segmenting well enough. You need to think again, segment better. So, yes, sir.
What do you think that cutoff is in terms of, say, if you have a high ACV?
Yeah.
And you're saying it out again. What do you think is the number of customers? The reason I'm asking is
Yeah.
when you go into Zoom for
Hmm.
LinkedIn Navigator, you see
Yeah.
maybe a market size of say 8,000 people I can target.
Yeah.
Do you think that's too high?
No, 8,000 is not that high, I believe. I believe, I don't think I have a number as such, but I think something beyond 5 digit would be a problem. So I will give you an example of Mailmodo. So in case of Mailmodo, from outside, every email marketing or every company would be a customer. But we have segmented in so many ways. Like first of all, we focus on consumer tech companies. We focus on a particular size of companies which are like mid-size business, not very large, not very small. We focus on companies who have already used an email marketing tool like a Mailchimp or Constant Contact, ActiveCampaign, etc. That narrows down our audience set a lot, and all of these decisions that we have made is on basis of certain information, certain learning that we have got from our customers. So if you think hard enough, you will also find out who to target in your ICP, in your customer base. So I will quickly describe our process. So we are on the right side, like our audience base is a little bit bigger and our ACV is low. So we don't go over super personalized, we go over semi-personalized. And the personalization in our case happens over the problem. So people have been using personalization on the basis of name, company name, designation, etc. I believe the personalization should happen on the basis of the problem you're solving. I will give you an example with our own messages, but here is our process. So we create a target account list on the basis of tools they are using, on the basis of their industry, on the basis of their designation, etc. And we target not more than 5,000 companies in a month. We choose two to three or max 5 contacts in a company. Before even sending these emails, we verify all these emails. We personalize, like I said, on the basis of the problem. So here the example would be, so for example, if I'm focusing on, let's say, education industry or a insurance industry, I would say, would it be great if your student can apply for the course within the email itself and increase your admission number. So that is something I am personalizing on the basis of the industry, the product that they are selling, and the problem they might be facing. Most tech companies would face that they are not getting enough students. So that's how we personalize on the basis of problems. And another important thing here is that you should not send all of your messages from one domain or one sender ID. In our case, we limit per sender ID, we limit 30 emails in a day. And for that, we need multiple domains, multiple sender IDs to cater to all the emails that we are sending from our system. And then you also effectively need to follow up. Very few people reply in the first email itself. We see that most replies come in second or third email. So, yeah.
Is that the typical length of sequence of just 2 or 3, or what would you recommend as a number of touches?
3 to 5, I would recommend. And it also depends on, again, on your GTM thing, like whether you want to be very personalized and you have very limited set of audience, you want to build more relationship with them, you want to have more touch bases with them, then probably even, I know some companies who have 21-day sequence as well, so something called AGOG sequence, etc. So they have 21 touch points, not just 21 days, but 21 touch points as well. In our case, we limit it to lesser number because our target base is much wider, and we get enough demos in the first 3 emails itself. Yeah. So, for example, instead of Mailmodo, besides having Mailmodo.com, we use Mailmodo.io, Mailmodo.app, Mailmodo.net, etc. as well. Depending on your volume, the suggestion is that limit your email sending per sender ID to just 30 to 50 a day. If you're sending like 5,000 like us, you probably would need multiple domains to be on the safer side. If you're not sending, if you're just sending, let's say, 500 emails, your like I described, your number of potential customer is less. You can work with one domain as well, probably one sender as well. Yeah. Yeah. So for bounce rate, we are can you go back? For bounce rate, we are verifying the email IDs beforehand. Make sure that your bounce rate is not more than 1%. So before even sending the emails, we are verifying the emails. Yeah. W- when you're sending cold emails, most of the people are not going to like it. They're going to mark you as a spam. And when you're going to be marked as spam, the email clients, next slide, and that it is about that actually, the email clients look at the engagement of your domain, and they see that if a lot of people are marking you as a spam, you are probably not a good sender, and they slowly degrade your reputation as well. They can block you as well as a sender itself. So for in our case, multiple domain also helps us in de-risking it, that one domain is blacklisted, so we can use at least another domain. But if you send a lot of emails, that means that there will be a lot of spam complaints or blocks, etc., and you are more likely to get blacklisted sooner than later. So having it in control helps in not getting blocked soon. I said like we send 30 to 50 emails per sender ID. One domain can have multiple senders. Hmm. There are certain domain extension which are perceived negatively, like for example .club, etc. So avoid those extensions, but most others are okay to be used. Yeah. So in some cases, the email clients also show the email IDs. So if you are using very long or suspecting domain or suspecting email ID, it is probably not good from even a user point of view. That user will think that, hey, this is something spammy, I don't want to open the email or I don't want to respond to it. We use a tool called Never Bonds. Never Bonds, there are so many tools like Never Bonds, Kickbox, Zero Bonds, D Bonds. Yeah, you can use subdomain. Subdomains are treated differently as domains in case of email sending. So OpenNet doesn't depend on subdomain. I will, yeah, this is the, I will not take any more questions, but I will describe here, it will help. So every email client cares not about the sender, but about their users. So for example, if you're sending email which is not valuable to user, the users are not engaging, they perceive you as a bad sender. But if you're sending emails to which users are getting engaged and they are replying back to you, or they are at least not deleting or unsubscribing or blocking you as a sender, those are like positive signals. So your objective should be to increase the positive signals, like people opening your email, clicking on it, replying to it, or even forwarding it. And to reduce the negative engagement, like people complaining about you, people unsubscribing from you. So avoid those kind of events, because that is going to impact your future emails. So if you're sending emails today which are getting good opens, replies, etc., even your future emails will land into inbox and will be treated as you will be treated as a good sender. Second important thing happens is the trust score in the eyes of the email client. So for example, there are authentication parameters called DKIM, SPF, and DMARC. A little bit technical, but easily Googleable. So if they are set well, that means that you are a right sender from this domain and there's no phishing or spamming activity happening. So that is a good signal. Your historical domain reputation as well as IP reputation also matters. So if your domain reputation is not good, probably you are not a good sender. I will tell you how to check all of that as well. Third important thing is the content itself. If your content is very salesy, nowadays email clients are smart enough to understand your content is very salesy. Like for example, you say that, hey, here is a deal, here is the offer, get 50% off, etc., etc. Avoid those things. Make your content more conversational, that it is coming from some business partner or some friend and not a sales email. I will give you examples of it as well. Next. So regarding the authentication part, like I was telling about keeping your DKIM, SPF, and DMARC set, use separate subdomain or domain for your cold emails, not use the main domain for your cold emails, because many of times, if you're still new to this, your domain will get blacklisted at some point of the time, and it is better not to block your main domain. You can use Google Postmaster. It is a free tool to set up. You can set it up to track what is your domain reputation, what is your IP reputation, etc. There are other tools to like Gappy, etc. as well, which you can use. You can use Never Bonds, Zero Bonds, etc. to clean your email list. And you should also, so a lot of people ask me like which tool gets the best deliverability, which tool gives you the best open rate, etc. So the truth is, every tool is the same in terms of deliverability, open rate, etc. It depends again on your content, your historical engagement. All of the cold email tools like I've mentioned Outplay, Clenty, and SalesGear. These are Indian companies. All of them use Google SMTP in the backend. So their delivery mechanism is same. So it doesn't matter which tool you use. So next to targeting, I focus a lot on messaging itself. So even when we started, we used to send a long message talking about how Mailmodo is the next generation email marketing tool, which is going to revolutionize emails, right? But people don't care about it. People care about the problem you can solve for them. People don't care about all the features that you have. People care about their next KPI, their next targets, next quarter, if they are going to meet the target or not. And if you address that, your messaging will work. You will get replies and you will get demos as well. So we, over time, especially for US audience, we realized that our messages should be short. We kept it 4 sentences long. First sentence is about context setting, like how we know them, or for example, they got funding. We congratulated them on funding, and they are using HubSpot. We said, like, hey, you're using HubSpot. We know you through this and that, etc. Second is the problem, and it needs to be related to the first statement. Third is the solution, and fourth is a very clear call to action, short and concise. I will give you some examples of how it is done. So here is one email. First statement, saw the email for feedback from, etc. This is the context setting. Imagine the ease if your users could give feedback without leaving the inbox. The problem, our solution, and a call to action. Does this sound interesting for you? For the company name, basically, we personalize there. So it is, the person could just say, yes, I would like to know more, or maybe ignore it, or would say, no, this is not the right time, etc. So it is not that, hey, do you want to buy the product right now? I'm not asking them. I'm just saying, hey, getting feedback in the email is interesting to you or not. If it is interesting to them, they would like to know more. And yeah. We don't use the full signature like LinkedIn, Calendly, etc. No, we just put the person name of the person and designation sometime. It was not a fit in the email. Like I would not just personalize for the sake of personalization. Yeah, and we do so many, like all emails are not sent. Like this is like one of the emails. Please next. I've also brought some other brands emails as well, which are good. Like, but this is also from Mailmodo. Came across your upcoming webinar, personalization, contact setting. Curious if you're using email to drive registration. So I'm addressing the problem they would have, this person would have, which is if they are organizing a webinar, they want to increase registration. And I'm asking if they want to increase the registration through email, how we can provide you that. Our client Mudrex tried it and got 280% increase. So we give the proof point. You can choose to give proof point at a later email, etc. as well. You can experiment with your audience. But this is problem, so context, problem, solution, call to action, think it's worth exploring. Simple answer, yes or no. Nothing more than that. Next. Next. This is another one. Love how there is a general fun tone in, like, so SDR here could not find a lot of context, but started with something. I would love to talk to you about Mailmodo, which allows to send interactive emails, etc. So this is also like a direct email and very short, concise, to the point. Next. So this email is from Topline, which is also like Rishan is also a fellow, like a friend. So I like their emails, very conversational in nature. If you see, again, context. He has also introduced, so here it works a lot because he's the founder, and if a founder is sending email, it makes a lot of credibility, so it makes sense. Context, solution, call to action, what do you say to catch up at Blue Bottle? Like very concise, very precise emails. Next, in India and Asia, longer email works. People like to engage with you more. So this is an example from Fino. So I think Aniket has a session as well. So here he describes a lot more. So the idea is you should experiment. Like probably for us, shorter, concise email works. Probably you can try as well. Next. How much time do we have? Okay. So context setting, a few example in our case. I recently subscribed to your newsletter, saw this quiz calculator, etc. saw that you joined as head of X, etc. So you can set context according to your industry, problem, your ICP as well. So this is for examples for Mailmodo. Second is problem statement. Whatever they are doing, whatever problem you are solving, highlight on that. And it will not be a general problem, no matter what product you are selling. Let's say you are selling a hiring solution. Even there, whether they are hiring a React developer or a sales person, the problem there is very, very different, and you need to address those problems. Next. Solution, we be very specific what you are providing. Don't give all the features in one email. Don't give all the accolades that, hey, we are G2 leader, we are got awarded this and that, etc., etc. Doesn't matter to the person. They want a solution. They want to address the problem. Call to action should be concise, very easy to say yes or no. So I like the last one. Actually, have 15 minutes to learn about how we also personalized there and provided a proof point. So after your first email, which has set context, you would like to send few follow-up emails. Here we send 2-3 emails, but you can experiment according to your industry, your product, your audience. Don't go by just sending 2-3 emails. But what you should do is you should highlight the consequences of the problem and solution. If this problem is not solved, what will happen to them? If you're selling a hiring solution, if they don't hire immediately, their revenue will get delayed or their GTM will be delayed, etc. Focus on the highlight the consequences of the solution as well. If they use your product today, they can probably save this much cost. They can probably get this much of revenue. In our case, they get 250% increase in conversion, etc. Also help them visualize. So in our case, we help them visualize using a GIF of the interactive emails. A lot of people say that GIFs are not good, but we have not seen an impact of that. So we use GIFs in follow-up emails, not in the first email, but we use GIFs in the follow-up emails. And one important thing is that most people will reply to your email if they trust you more, if they have heard about you enough times. So if Elon Musk send you a cold email, probably each one of you will reply to it, right? That, hey, I'm interested in talking to you. But if Aquibur mails to you, probably no, right? So if they see you enough times over different channels, like if you're seeing me today here talking to you, probably you will reply to my email next time I send you. Even if it is cold, selling my product, at least you would say, hey, I'm not interested today, maybe after 6 months. At least you would do that. Most people ignore your email because they don't trust you, because they don't know you. So if you and your salespeople are visible on, let's say, wherever your audience are, if your audience are on LinkedIn, be visible there. If your audience is on Instagram, maybe be visible there. If you're producing good content from there for your audience, they will probably are going to trust you more and they're going to reply you. Next. A lot of things also matter on the subject line. If people are not going to open your emails itself, no matter how good your messaging or targeting is, you're not going to get a reply. So, and that depends a lot on your subject line as well as the first line of the email. So you might have noticed that when you get an email, you get a notification on your mobile phone, and more or less you decide then and there whether to open this email or not. So your subject line and your first line of the email matters. Use personalization, use some question or any kind of intriguing copy to make them open your email. Next. So yeah, so that was all, but there are, like I mentioned, like how you can also get more visibility and to get more trust. So try using ads, content marketing, etc., along with your email. So for example, you can try mixing LinkedIn ads and emails. So for example, we are working with Triple Dot, where we are showing LinkedIn ads first to the user whom we are sending emails later. So they already have context before they get our emails. So, so that is one way. We also should think whether you can engage them without selling. So for example, we create a lot of content and we send emails to our target audience asking, hey, we are creating this webinar, we are creating this content. Would you like to contribute on this topic? And they feel good because we are asking for their contribution and we are not asking them to buy our product. After, let's say, the contribution happens and everything happens, we can say, hey, by the way, would you like a demo with Mailmodo as well? So you can also try those things. Next. So this is the end slide. Make it about users, make it relevant, personalized, intriguing, as well as build trust. That's all. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah.
My case is not a PLG, it's more of a salesy driven
Yeah.
product. So how can an outbound work really well in those cases as compared to a PLG? Because this sort of thing somehow seems to work better in case of a PLG.
Not entirely true. Like, in fact, outbound works more in case of SLG, and most SLG companies here would probably be using cold outreach to do build their demand. So the principles will remain the same. Like I mentioned, you may need to be more super personalized. You may need to be more focused, and at the end, you need to build trust and engagement with them. It is the use it as a relationship building thing, not as a just selling thing that, hey, I have to get you on a demo and sell you. Use emails more to build relationship with them. Yes, sir.
We'll take 3 more questions. Yeah.
Yeah, my question is, when we are automating cold emailing, okay, at that time, how can we personalize the context for each and every users?
You can.
I mean, just wanted to understand about
So,
that.
like all tools, all these cold email tools like
No,
Autoplay.
personalizing name and everything is fine, but you said about the context, like what they are basically solving up the problem or their product is about, okay, and then you set up the context in the first line, something like that, right? You
Yeah.
showed it. So
Yeah.
how do you do that?
Okay, so in our case, we use HubSpot. So if so, what we do is like we choose some segment, like a broad segment, like industry, tool, etc. So let's say all 100 people whom we are targeting, they belong to health insurance sector. They are using Mailchimp already. So these are the information that I already know to personalize, and it doesn't have to be like one-on-one personalization. I can personalize it for the 100 people, and they will all relate to it because they are belonging to the same industry and using the same tool, probably having the same amount of revenue, probably having the same problem. So I'm asking not to personalize on the basis of name, company name,
So the
etc.
campaigns will be different, right?
Yeah, I'm asking asking you to personalize on the basis of the problem. All these 100 companies who are into health insurance using Mailchimp have 50 to 500 people in their team, have a revenue over $1 million. They will all have a similar problem. And
Okay.
I'm asking, hey, are you having this problem? We have a solution.
Now you said that you must have, I mean, you change the company, okay, you.
So those things are easy to do with any cold email or sales email tool.
Okay, just an example for that. I mean, how can you get the data like when somebody changes the company or something like that?
So we use Apollo
Okay.
for that information.
Okay.
Uh,
So
and
prior to sending a cold email, you do all these data points
yes,
and then.
you will need the email IDs as well as all these information
Okay.
to make it relevant and personalized.
So in your case, like what different tools do you use for that? I mean, one thing you said is Apollo and then
So
HubSpot.
we use Apollo. We get data from Apollo, then we clean it within our bonds. We send using HubSpot. Now we are trying Outplay, and yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Outplay. Yeah.
Hi, it was a great session, first of all. I'm Sasank. I just had a query that
Can we? I see that a lot of points can be extrapolated if we're trying to cold reach out on LinkedIn as well. But if there are a couple of changes you would suggest between cold emailing and reaching out on LinkedIn, what would you suggest?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part.
So I've been trying to reach out to a lot of our potential customers through LinkedIn first instead of just cold emailing, but that's also cold reach out.
Yeah.
And the initial subject lines and all, they kind of make sense on how I can see it translating.
Yeah.
But if we had to do it on LinkedIn, how would you, what differences you suggest between a cold email and a cold reach out on LinkedIn? In case you have anything to add.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
even in our case, we have tried LinkedIn to a very little extent, not a lot. But few things that we that worked for us is not selling in the first message itself. Even especially in the connection request, your connection request should be normal. Then even in the first few conversation that you are having, it should not be selling. It should be value adding. So, for example, let's say we have created a uh, email marketing for SaaS. And if you are reaching out to somebody who belongs to SaaS, we say, hey, we created this playbook for email marketing for SaaS. Hope it will be helpful for you. And they would say thank you, etc., etc. Then that's how the conversation will start. That's what we have learned in our case. You probably have to experiment.
Got it. Thank you.
I think somebody is. Okay.
Yeah. Hi. So we've used two different kinds of tools like Apollo and Mailchimp or Mailjet for sending out these emails. Which one would you prefer? Apollo directly connects to the Google accounts, while Mailjet sends it through their server, so that comes in the mail coming in. So which one would you think?
So Mailchimp or Mailjet, like you mentioned, is a tool like Mailmodo used for marketing emails, not for sales email. Mailjet blocks if your bounce rate, etc., is above 3%. So probably you should use something which is meant for cold emailing, meant for sales outreach, where so as you grow, you would also realize that you would want tracking, you would sales tracking, you would want your deal pipeline created, etc., as well in the CRM. So maybe for now, anything is okay if you're at a lower scale, but as you grow, probably you would need some kind of sales outreach, sales enablement kind of tool.
One tool that you would suggest?
You can, if I don't know which CRM you're using, but it also depends on a lot of your CRM. But for example, we started with HubSpot. We are using now Outplay. There are other tools like Clenty, Sales Gear. They have a stall below. There's so many tools, Lemlist, Gmass, Outreach, Salesloft. There's so many tools.
Thanks. Hi.
Yeah.
So when you start with a new domain, it doesn't have any history, and there is a high chance it's end up in the spam folder.
Yeah.
How to make sure that that doesn't happen?
So yeah, so you need to warm the domain up. Don't start with a high volume. Start sending like 10 emails in a day to your friends and colleagues first. Ask them to open, click, and build the reputation by providing the positive engagement, and then slowly increase. Like after 10, go to 20, go to 30, etc.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hi, insightful session. So one of the problems that we face when we are doing outbound is scaling it, right? How do we go about doing this easily, starting from what he said, warm up to setting up subdomains, IP rotation? Is there something which kind of makes it easier, and how does your product kind of look at that pain point?
So our product doesn't help with cold email. Don't use Mailmodo for cold emailing. Well, use Mailmodo for marketing emails. But to answer your question, how to scale? First of all, you need to answer why do you need to scale, and to answer that, you need to understand who your ICP is. Probably today your ICP is not well defined. That's why you think that there's too many people, and I want to send emails to every one of them today. You probably don't need to do that. Your targeted audience who need your product today may be a much smaller set, and you may not need to scale to a very large extent. But being said that, let's say even your audience is, let's say, 50,000 companies or users, and you want to send, but you would still want to send like 5,000 emails or 10,000 emails at max in a month. And the only way to scale that up is having multiple sender, multiple domains, etc. As soon as you like send more emails, more emails from the same domain or the same sender, your open rate will go down, your domain will get affected, maybe get blacklisted, and for probably some time you won't be able to even send emails. So facing that issue again and again is probably not the best choice. Best choice would be to have a consistent email sending volume to your relevant targeted audience.
Thanks.